today's the day.
I know a lot of you guys have been patiently waiting, and I've been like anxiously waiting to be able to let you guys know that for 2024, I am going to be sponsored by Infinite Discs. I actually did my hair, so we're gonna take the hat off. But they actually sent me out my first big content allotment because there's actually a little bit of a difference in my contract than some others. So I wanna go over everything that's in this box with you guys, as well as my first custom drop with Infinite, and tell you guys why this is not only great for me, but also for you guys, because it's gonna make it easier for me to create content. I'll have a place that if you guys want to pick up some discs, you'll be able to do that. And my own custom stamps, I know I only had them available for like 3 or 4 months this year total. They'll be available every single day, maybe except for like tomorrow if they sell out today. But I'll show you what that is here in a second. But first, they sent out a bunch of apparel because obviously being sponsored by Infinite, I'm gonna be wearing Infinite apparel in every video here on out, which got a sweet little alpaca hat here. And of course, if you've been watching the FCCS, the Florida Christmas Championship Series, these were the putters that I was using, and I actually bought, you might be able to finally see alpacas. Let's see if I can get the light to shine on it correctly. Yeah, so right here is the Infinite logo that I had to wipe off to put like and subscribe on these. Some of you guys guessed alpacas. These are the D-blend ones, and I actually am starting to get used to them, so I'm super excited to continue trying to putt with these. I don't know if they'll be my putters for the season, because luckily for me, I only have to bag, I think in my contract, like 1 Infinite mold, and I'm still gonna be completely open bag basic. I will have a Tour Series disc, like you see all the other Infinite touring pros do. I know I'm not, it's interesting because I'm treated like a touring pro contract-wise, and through Infinite, which makes me feel super valued, but I know most of my value comes from the content side of things, and hopefully next year or the year after, it will also be as a touring pro. But being able to get my foot in the door with a company like Infinite, them already putting like money on the table that was worth it for me to be able to join, hopefully I can prove to them that I'm worth even potentially more. But all of this is because of the support that you guys have shown me over the course of this last year. And it's super exciting to hopefully be, in a sense, like trailblazing the way for content creators and disc golf manufacturers and retailers having like more cohesive relationships that are mutually beneficial. My whole interactions from Infinite start to finish of signing my contract made me feel very like respected and valued. Like all of these throughout the course of this last year, I guess this was technically November of 2022, but all of these and your guys' support and all the sales that I generated through all of these are really what made this deal happen. So thank you so much. I don't think I'll have the ability to share absolutely everything that this deal is going to mean in this video, but I'm gonna try to turn this announcement series into 3 videos. It might only be 2. I was pretty sick. I had like 100.6 fever. I woke up this morning, no fever, feeling a lot better. I made sure to like get tons of rest. So I'm hoping that this video will unbox this whole box, show you guys all this apparel throughout. There's gonna be more on the way, obviously. You can snag all of it at infinitedisc.com. Their links will always be in the description if you wanna snag anything, but if you wanna snag something that has my branding on it as well, I want to share with you guys my first custom drop with Infinite Discs. You guys have seen all these teasers and the reveals right here with the logo, and this is what it's gonna look like in person. So we have 6 different molds. They're all Infinite molds. So if you haven't tried Infinite before, a lot of their molds are old Innova molds or retooled old Innova molds. As this mania moved on from Innova manufacturing, Innova was able to give some of those molds to companies like Infinite and I think Millennium as well. So this is what the stamp looks like in person. We did a nice little double foil. I wanted it to be semi-representative of a lot of things. First off, just me joining Infinite, so the O in my last name is just the Infinite logo. There's cameras all around for kind of the background little dot pattern, just because that's really the reason for this whole deal was the content and the cameras that I used to create it. I wanted it also to have like a kind of a pop art design, just because it's kind of like the breakout stamp with Infinite. There's gonna be a lot more custom stamps coming. These are end blend alpacas, kind of Nexus plastic. I really wanted to get my hand on some end blend ones, especially because I like the D-blend ones that I've been putting with, but these are a little bit grippier and tackier, especially as they beat in a little bit more. I can already feel how much tackier they are, which is super exciting because I think they'll grip the chains just how I like them, but they're still stiff, which is one thing that I didn't like about my Pures towards the end, is that they were nice and grippy, but they weren't super stiff. And so these are a little more overstable. I'm really excited to get out and throw these because we'll be throwing them in tomorrow's video, which hopefully will be a fieldwork session with all of these discs that are in here. And then we're gonna play my first round as a sponsored disc golfer at an actual tag match. So there's actually something on the line. It's the first tags of the year. So hopefully we can actually win that and get the 1 tag. But these are the Inca, which I'd never thrown before. They're kind of a beaded, overstable mid-range. Super excited to see how these guys fly, especially on like a forehand and backhand. They feel pretty comfortable for having a slight bead. Not something I would probably gravitate towards, but they're the Halo S blend as well. And one thing that you'll notice that's really great about my partnership with Infinite now is, 1, there's gonna be custom stamps online for you to buy year round. There's not gonna be like days when they're not available. Maybe tomorrow, the 1st, if these all sell out today, then they'll immediately be able to restock them on the 2nd. So go ahead and snag them at the first link in the description if you wanna buy any of these, including the 4 other molds. But you'll also notice that they're gonna end up being a little bit cheaper than when you bought them just directly through me, and I won't have to do any of the fulfillment. So I probably spent upwards of 100+ hours this year in dealing with all processes of custom stamp fulfillment and receiving, and now that can either get redirected into my play or my content, and just having one less thing mentally to worry about because Infinite is dealing with all of it, but to also be cheaper for you. If you go to the website, you'll notice that there are different prices for each of these discs, and Infinite shipping is cheaper than my shipping because they do much more bulk than I did, and they do much more bulk discs than I did, so you'll be able to snag more of my custom stamps if you'd like. Next is a disc that I was super pumped to try out. These are the Metal Flake Sea Blend Glow Sphinx. I really am liking the way that this stamp looks, but this is a pretty flippy 9-speed. I imagine it's gonna be similar to my S-Line CD1, but these might be a little more stable, so this is something I'm gonna play around with. It does seem like it can cater, I love this stamp too, more towards like the beginner disc golfer, and then be like a really nice hyzer flip or roller disc, which I'm hoping that this is a really good Denver roller, so we'll be messing around with these for sure. Also, big shout out to Completely Corey for helping me kind of vectorize my design. Go subscribe to him if you haven't yet. Next are two 10 speeds. These are the Romans. Hopefully we can see this stamp pretty good. Wow, these look sweet. These are swirly S-Blend, and these are basically just an old PD mold, I'm pretty sure. So super, super cool. Nice and kind of like glidey over stable. So it'll go very far, but have a lot of integrity to it. Super stoked on these, and one thing I just remembered is another reason why I love partnering with Infinite, especially for you guys to get your hands on my discs. And also, if you don't have a retailer, I definitely highly recommend buying all your discs from Infinite, especially if you want to pick something of mine up, but also pick up just all of your random discs that you want to buy. You can now do all that together, which is awesome. This is why I'm so happy about this. I'll be able to do, I won't have to change almost anything that I do except for doing a couple more things for Infinite. I'll have links to all the discs, and I'll be able to finally point you guys to a place to buy them because someone is paying me to do so, so I'm really grateful for that. But I still get to work with all the same companies who reached out to me, like Prodigy just sent me something, Discmania sent me something. Like these companies that still want their discs to be reviewed, I can still review and take all of them, keep all my relationships that I have with all of the media departments of these companies, and now have a place that's even more beneficial for them because I'll have a direct place for people to buy the discs, and I'll be linking to them where I didn't ever do that before. So super stoked on these. Also, when you buy any of these discs, you'll be able to choose the weight. They'll have pictures of each one, so you get to choose each of the individual stamps. It's like logistics that I couldn't even dream of doing since I'm literally just a one-man show doing everything myself. But this partnership is just takes so much like stress off me financially, logistically, and then also I just am able to get all the new discs for release so that I can review them as fast as possible. So, and the last two are some of my favorites that I'm so stoked that I was able to get custom initially. Halo Emperors. If you guys know, the Emperor is basically like a destroyer, very similar. A part of me thinks it's like a destroyer strike combo. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard these can get as overstable as the most overstable Calvins. And then there's like some flippier ones. We actually have one in this box because I did open it. I couldn't wait, honestly. I really wanted to film the video right when I got it, but I was so sick that I barely got yesterday's video edited. But this one I think is going straight in the bag. Nice dome, just your classic Halo disc. I just can't believe that these have my stamp on them. I'm gonna actually get more than likely a Halo just Tour Series disc in general because massive thank you to Infinite, but they're treating me like one of their like top level sponsored athletes. It's nice to have a company respect the like audience and the community that we've created here, putting money on the table and putting a contract on the table so that there's like a legitimate partnership that we both get mutual value from and we can both increase that value. So these look sweet. This one's a little bit flatter, so I'm interested to see kind of how that one flies. And then this one, oh my gosh, so cool. This is a 172, so it might just be a bomber. And the last one, the opposite of that, are these S-Blend Pharaohs. I kind of took you guys off the scent by bagging that Shrike. Well, I don't think I took anybody off the scent. Everyone was just speculating all over, which was so cool to see. And also so weird to be like at the center of that, and also so anxious that this was all going to be able to come together in time. But these are all 171 S-Blend Pharaohs, which I definitely am gonna take the Shrike out of my bag for these, especially since they're actually S-Blend and they're new, but they're all white. These are incredible. And so this already constitutes a pretty close to full bag, but when I was getting these sent, I was like, hey, can we do like my first allotment? Because I want to create a banana froth video at least for every single Infinite mold. And they more than hooked it up. We're gonna fill up a little bit of these rows as we go through all the rest of these discs. But while we also do that, we're gonna be creating my bag that I go and play first tags with, because we're just gonna do all Infinite for that. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the case. Also through Infinite, I was super excited because it gives me the opportunity to potentially run multiple Signature Series discs. And Signature Series meaning it's a plastic and a disc combo that is only that disc for the entire year through some other companies that Infinite's associated with. So hopefully that's able to happen as well. But I think the first disc that's gonna be coming out is gonna be my actual Infinite Tour Series disc. But I'm gonna do my best to get to about 6 to 7 Pro Tour events this year and at least try to Monday qualify, because there'll be good enough content to be made regardless or not if I get into the tournament. So we're gonna start out, we got these discs, which are the Tomb. A lot of people really like this. It's kind of a flat, semi-beaded putter. I've heard they're pretty straight. It's interesting feeling in the hand. I'm excited to throw a lot of these because it forces me to throw some discs that I might not pick up. And I limited my bag a lot this past year, and so I'm excited to basically my whole bag's out the window now. I will be able to get whatever I need from Infinite since they carry basically everybody. So we'll end up seeing how many of each of these molds stay in my bag, but I'm excited to at least review them all and just kind of see how they fly because there's a disc for everybody, frankly. First off, this is the iBlend plastic, which is Infinite's own proprietary blend. I believe it's like a mix of Star and Pro or something like that. Not 100% sure. And then this is just, I think, a typical S blend. Pretty sure S blend is very similar to Star. C blend is very similar to Champion. There might be some differences there because they don't feel exactly the same to me. And then N blend is similar to Nexus. P blend is like a putter plastic. I don't really know Innova's putter plastics. Innova does all the manufacturing for Infinite right now. Next is one that I was super pumped to get because I kind of forgot that it existed, but I'd seen it before. It's called the Ruin. It's like, oh, got this big, I'm not even gonna call it a bead, but it's just like a approach disc. I mean, like the zone has a bevel here, and this just kind of has a little curve, which I don't know how it's gonna make it fly any different. Next up is another kind of very similar to AVR X3 disc. I actually filmed a review on this, and I felt like it fit a slot that I didn't really need at the time. Not really sure if that's gonna still be the case, but it's called the Raze, R-A-Z-E. Actually, I have an AVR X3 here. This is literally the first disc that I ever had. So shout out to my buddy Sam. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell what the disc has been beat in for a billion years, but it seems like it's a little bit deeper than the AVR X3. Next up, you guys know it from everybody who's on Infinite disc, but the Alpaca. Everyone seems to putt with this disc. I heard that there's some Halo ones that are gonna be coming out soon, so I saw that on Maria Oliva's story. Next is a disc that I'm really, I don't know how to feel about it yet, because it's like a 3.5 speed putter. When I was initially looking at just like the disc on Infinite site, when I was kind of in conversations with them, being like, ooh, should I putt with an Infinite putter? Maybe I can get a like custom run or series or whatever. We got the cohort here, 3.5401, and it is shallow, and it almost feels bigger than the other putters, like wider, like a little bit bigger diameter, and like maybe, but it's kind of hard to tell. This is a super interesting disc. I don't really know where it would fit, but I have a Halo S blend one and an I blend one, so we'll be able to throw that a good bit. And then we're gonna have some putter wars to go through because they sent me putter plastics, a pair of basically all of their putters. N blend tubes, which I think is gonna be my favorite putter plastic. Relatively comparable to a retro, but just a little bit harder and a little tackier. And also I know I'm like speaking positive about most things here Infinite. Obviously I'm gonna be excited and have a slight bias towards it because I'm super pumped about it. But what I love about the contract here is like, I don't have to say anything good about any of these discs. And so as I review them, if I don't like them, I can not like them, and that's completely okay, especially seeing as I only have to bag one Infinite mold, and Infinite sells literally everything. So if I don't like some stuff, I'm gonna like other stuff that you guys can buy on Infinite's website. And then these are scarabs, which are interesting. I don't think I have any of the premium scarabs, but this is like a kind of interesting mold because it's got a slight micro bead on it, and it has a really low shoulder. I imagine it's gonna be pretty flippy. A lot of these like don't seem to fit the conventions of like all the discs that have come out in the last year and a half, because a lot of them I think are older Innova molds or retooled older Innova molds. And since I've been playing disc golf for less than 2 years, a lot of the discs that have come out, like they feel slightly different to these. So I'm excited to throw these and see if there's some hidden gems here. These are N blend cohorts, that like 3.5 speed, and then some D blend alpacas, which are these guys. So hopefully I like alpacas because I got a bunch of alpacas right now, because on top of the D blend alpacas, I have some N blend alpacas. On top of the N blend alpacas that are my custom stamped ones. So I think that they're basically wanting me to putt with alpacas right now because they sent me so many of them. But I also kind of want to putt with alpacas right now as well. And then lastly, we have N blend mitts. These are like sneaky, might fight for a spot against the alpaca because they got a slight bead and they're slightly shallower, I feel. So I'm really excited to kind of do the putter wars with all the Infinite putters. That might be a Banana Froth video, might be a main channel video. People don't like putting videos, so it's probably gonna go on Banana Froth, to be honest. So for the bag for first tags, I think I'm gonna pull out this iBlend Tomb here because apparently it's super straight, just kind of point and shoot putter. I would throw the alpaca in there, but we already got some alpacas we'll be punting with, so put something different. And then this Ruin. Just something about this is super intriguing to me. I would maybe throw a Raze in there as well, but I don't feel like I need to approach discs, honestly. And now this should be our putter lineup. We got the alpacas for putting, a Tomb for a straighter putter, and a Ruin for an overstable putter. Don't really see any flippy putters in there. Now I think where Infinite shines, at least in what I've seen so far, is in their fairways and drivers. I haven't seen a lot of people using a lot of their putters or a lot of their mids. And so honestly, because I like to be a little bit different, that makes me excited to kind of throw a lot of their mid-ranges and kind of see how they fly. So I'm stoked to have this Inca with my custom stamp initially. And like I said, if they are sold out pretty quickly, which I anticipate because of the limited run that they did, you should be able to snag more of these on the second when they get restocked, which is another big benefit to having this Infinite deal. If I sell out of stamps, they'll be able to be restocked relatively quickly. I've heard that this is like a mix of a couple old Innova molds, one of them being a potential old MD3 that was for Discmania, but this is the Chariot. Joel Freeman had this as a signature series for a while with Infinite. Whoops. But this is a D-blend one, so a base plastic. It does feel like the bottom is an MD3, but it doesn't feel like an MD3. And then they sent me an I-blend Chariot. They call it 4501. I don't really know why the 4-speed. I don't think it feels significantly smaller than, say, it's a little smaller than another one, so maybe it is a 4-speed, but apparently it's like a straight shooter, so it might rival like a Pathfinder. I'll have to throw them against one another. And here's a nice pearly S-blend with a Team Infinite stamp on it. Something about just having a team stamp, I didn't really get it, honestly. People were talking about team stamp stuff, team stamp Innova, team stamp blah, 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 and I was like, whatever, guys. But now that I'm on a team, I get it. I don't know, I get it, I don't know. Chariot, I think we're gonna throw this in the bag for just that straight slot. Part of me wants to throw the D-blend, but I think we got something that'll fly similar to that coming up here in a second, so we'll throw this one in the bag. Next up are the Anubis. We have a Maria Oliva. These are 5500, I believe, like a Mako or a Mako 3, but I heard that this might be the old Coyote mold. I heard that from the internet, not from Infinite, so I haven't heard any of this stuff from Infinite that I'm talking about. Frankly, right now, I'm not even sponsored by Infinite. This is the 31st, and my contract doesn't start till the 1st, so Infinite's treating me pretty good, so we'll give them a free day. You know what I mean? Free like 10 hours after this video gets posted. But the I-blend and then the Halo S-blend, I think I'm gonna put this one in the bag. And then we have these 3 last mid-ranges, which are all relatively overstable. So the raw here, you guys have seen me throw in an Infinite video that I did a while back. I'm pretty sure David, Apollo Disc Golf, said that he thought it was the Lion mold or the V-Rock mold. We have a Metal Flake Giga here. This like rivals the spot of my Ultra, or maybe it's slightly less stable, but still rivals it. This thing might actually like make the bag for the season. Really good on a backhand, better than the Ultra on a backhand. The forehand, the Ultra I think feels slightly better, so be interested to see how those fly. And then this thing is something that recently came out, which is kind of silly, but like cool silly, like kind of like overstable Mimi Boy. This is the Galleon, which is a 6-speed, stupid overstable. I think it's a Banshee mold or something like that. Really, really blunt and overstable. No need for this, but part of me still wants, I'm not gonna put it in the bag. I'm not gonna do it. We'll just throw this for a video. Part of me wants to put it in the bag, but then I feel like I'll make myself throw it and then I'll lose a stroke, and I want first tag. So our mid-range lineup for tomorrow is gonna be, oh, not the Rune, that's putter. So we have the Inca here, we have the Chariot with the team stamp, and then the Maria Oliva Anubis. These are all 180 grams, so they're all max weight. I feel like these are gonna fly really well, like sneaky good. Now we're moving on to the fairways and drivers. We got a lot of. These are the Centurion. This is a 7.5 -1.2. It is a pretty shallow, like small feeling disc. Like it feels smaller than my Strike, feels smaller than an Athena. But you see James Proctor kind of flip this thing all over the place. This is his signature series from last year. We don't have purple disc in the bag yet, so we're gonna throw the I-blend one in there. And then we have the first Infinite disc ever made, which I think was back in 2019. This is the Halo Exodus. Feels a little domier, feels a little bit thicker in the hand. So we're gonna be throwing both of these. Yeah, this definitely feels smaller than the Exodus. Yeah, wow, those feel pretty good. So these two are gonna be going to the bag at the 7-speed slot. And then we have a couple more Sphinx. These are the 9.6 -3.1 disc. I really have been liking flippier discs recently and just kind of trusting them on lines. This one I think is gonna get like pretty flippy pretty fast, whereas these ones I think will kind of hold a good stability. I'm hoping that they're between my Zeta's Moon CD1, the S-Line one, and the C-Line one, because if they're there, they're gonna be like perfect and they'll beat into the Zeta's Moon. Like this disc I think will 100% make my bag. Just guaranteed if that's the case. Next, we have some discs that I've really been wanting to try, which are basically the CD1, because the CD1 was going for the CD2 mold, and these are the old Innova CD2 mold from what I've heard from the internet. These are the Dynasty. Eric Oakley you've seen throw all over the place. We have an I-blend one here, which seems money. This sweet Team Infinite S-blend one, S-blend swirly one, and then this C-blend Dynasty. The reason why I say I don't feel like this is the same champion is because this C-blend doesn't really feel like just your straight up champion plastic. I don't really know what it is. It feels a little bit gummier. I don't really feel like we need multiple of these in the bag, especially with that Sphinx. So I think we might just throw this C-blend one in. This is so cool. Am I gonna be a sucker for team stamps? I might be. It's cold out, so team stamp. Gotta find the excuses, gotta find a way. And then the last 9-speed is the Scepter, which apparently means that it's going to be a little bit less stable than a Firebird. From what I have heard, again, through the internet, these are kind of an old Sexton Firebird mold. This one, again, like the C-blend is a little bit gummier than you'd anticipate. So I think we're going to throw this Scepter in. I don't think we're going to be putting either of these two in the bag this time, just because it's going to be too similar to the Dynasty, but I'm really excited to see how they differ, because this is the 10.5 -1.2 Aztec. We have one in the I-blend and we have one in the Halo S-blend plastic. Run 9, run 10. You'll be able to see which run it is on each of the discs, so that if you want to buy something that's the same, you can buy that exact same run, which is really sweet. And then, of course, we have some more Romans here. We have this X-Out C-blend, probably. We have this I-blend Roman, which again is kind of like the PD, and then another just S-blend with a really cool, these are like kind of a Dyer's Delight one. Also those Pharaohs, these Pharaohs right here, if you want to dye something, those look sick. We got our swirly S-blend Roman. a little more dome. Oh man, that thing is gonna be so good. And now we're moving up into the 11 speeds where we got a super flippy boy. And the Maya. These feel similar to a Mamba. They're maybe a little bit different, but the Mamba has like that shallowness that you can feel. These also have that shallowness. These are gonna be really fun. Add some rollers or some kind of crazy discs. We don't really need it, but would it be fun to have? Yes. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this Iblend Maya in there. All right, the rest of the 11 to 13 speeds we have here, and we're starting out with a Czar. This is an 11 speed because it's Seablend Halo Glow or something. It's, I don't know, but it looks sweet. It's also kind of fun. This is Ivan the Turtle or something, and he is one of the Czars, so really fun looking disc. And then an Iblend one. I don't really think that we need that straight 11 speed since we have the Roman. I feel like there's just too much between 9, 10, 11. We're gonna put this one in the bag. Why not? Then we have a Slap. I don't think I need this, especially because of one of the discs that we have coming out. But this is I'm pretty sure it's similar to an old JP, like an old Max, which is an 11 speed, really overstable guy. And then we move on to just your classic Emperors. We have a really nice infinite disc stamped Halo Emperor here and an Iblend Emperor, which I think just bombs. And I think we might actually put in the bag because this thing is nice and domey. It's gonna probably be an in-between stability of Halo Emperor that I have here. So we'll kind of keep the Iblend and the Halo Emperor in the bag. We have some more Pharaohs here. We got an Iblend Pharaoh and an Erica Stinchcomb Halo Pharaoh. This one is sick. I really like kind of the Halo, how it almost looks like an orbit plastic just because it's very consistent and then it gets into the white. Excited to throw it now, especially since I'm probably gonna be bagging these S-Blend Pharaohs. And then we have the Conqueror. This is a super domey one, swirly S-Blend. I mean, super pop top, really like this. Yeah, I mean, this is run 1 right there. So that's sick. And then we have a team stamped Halo Conqueror, which is a little bit flatter, which I think I would want from this because I want a little bit more like dig and not quite as much glide. Because this, I'm pretty sure, is an old PD2 mold or they're trying to recreate an old PD2 mold. This is definitely going in the bag, the Halo Conqueror, because this thing, I think 12404, gonna be just ridiculously overstable. And that's what we got sent out in the first little content allotment. Just want to say a massive thank you for the support that you guys have shown. The last year and a half has been so much growth and just so much work to kind of try to get to where we are. And to have that be recognized on this level already, where in my mind, this is like a kind of a first of its kind contract in terms of like content creation and disc golf. And honestly, it's with the company that initially when I got started, I wanted to be with because I really like Infinite's branding. I like a lot of their discs, kind of how they interact with the community. They're one of the bigger retailers, so I knew that there'd be a lot of like upward potential. And so to get my foot in the door with an offer from them that was well worth it for me to join, and then for them to be already having custom stamps dropped that you guys can go and snag, the way that I already feel so valued by all my interactions with them, I just can't thank them enough. I can't thank you enough. And I'm super excited to be joining Team Infinite for 2024. Hopefully it's a partnership that can grow. Pretty sweet full bag there. If you don't have a retailer to buy your discs through right now, or you're looking for a change, definitely consider Infinite. Supporting the company that supports me is super helpful. And the more of those discs that you buy, the more kind of leeway that I get with Infinite because they see just the overall value. I'll be making some videos for Infinite's YouTube channel throughout the rest of the year. I have a little bit more planned on the short form content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and a lot more for Banana Froth. And all of that is gonna be made possible and presented by Infinite for the year 2024. And honestly, this partnership is gonna make this year significantly easier and better. I just can't wait to see everything that comes out of it. I'm so grateful and so excited. It's gonna be a good year. See you in 2024.